far sideline, and he's got space in front of him. Touchdown, BG. What a way to start the season.
Welcome to the Swoop, BG Falcon Media's live sports talk show. Bowling Green Athletics is in full swing right now with 7 programs underway this week. So I think it's time to talk some sports. I'm your host, Chaz McNeil, and I'm joined by 2 sports analysts from Falcon Media Sports Network, Tyler Kavalitz and Ben Korek. How you guys doing today?
It's great to be back on the Swoop, Chaz.
It's always good for BG Athletics, so it's fun.
100%. So speaking of BG Athletics, let's just jump into it. Sometimes we like to ease you into the action here at the Swoop, but not today. Men's soccer. They just clinched a spot in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship last night. Big win. They're going to the championship. And we've got Lucas Kleinmeyer, the sports expert for men's soccer, here in the studio. Lucas, how you doing today?
Doing good, Chaz. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. So I was going to ask you right off the rip, Lucas, how is this team going to fare in the MVC Championship?
Boy, you can't overstate how big that win was against Drake last night. You know, Drake was actually the only team that Bowling Green didn't beat at home. They beat every other team at home before Drake, and that win was a solid playoff win. You know, they took advantage of their moments and they capitalized, got a goal from Chase Terry late in that one, and then sealed them through to the championship game. Now they're facing an Evansville team who are the hot team right now. They're on a great Cinderella run right now in the tournament. They beat Western Michigan and Missouri State. Missouri State won the regular season, so Evansville's coming to this game with a lot of confidence. It should be a good one.
Lucas, Saul Kyle Cusimano went down with an injury. What's his status look for the championship game?
Yeah, Tyler. Unfortunately, we don't have an official status on Cusimano. He did go down, however, in the 50th minute against Drake and did not return to the game. So don't want to speculate exactly what the injury is or if he'll be there for Saturday night. But, man, if he can't go for Saturday for Bowling Green, that's a humongous loss. You know, he's now the defending Missouri Valley Conference Defender of the Year. He played all 18 games for Bowling Green. And before he left the field due to injury, he played every single minute for the Falcons. And without him, you're going to have to shift the back line a little bit. You have Josh Erlinson, Gus Peacock, and that third spot's going to be kind of up for grabs to see what Nichols does. But the health and stats of him is going to be huge depending on how Bowling Green does on Saturday.
Lucas, what does the outlook look like for the NCAA tournament for the Falcons, whether they win or lose the Missouri Valley?
Yeah, that's a good question because I do think, obviously, if you win the championship on Saturday, you get an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. But honestly, I think even if Evansville does come away victorious Saturday night, I think Bowling Green still has a very good chance of getting to the NCAA tournament. Reasons being is because at one point this season, they were ranked number 24th in the country, and they also knocked off Western Michigan, who were nationally ranked all season long, and ended their 37-game unbeaten streak. So that alone, and also if you talk about just the entire result in the regular season as a whole, I think they have a very good chance of getting in. A lot of teams get in the conference, and I think they will. The only bad thing with Bowling Green, why they might not get in if they lose to Evansville on Saturday, is you're going to have Evansville get in if they win with an automatic bid. You're going to have Western Michigan get in because they've been nationally ranked all season long. And you'll probably have Missouri State get in. Are they going to give 4 Missouri Valley Conference teams in the NCAA tournament with Bowling Green? I'm not so sure.
An MVC title would be absolutely huge, and I think we're all excited for that. So I want to say thank you, Lucas, for coming to the show on your day off. Essentially, you were here a couple times. You're a Swoop alumni, you could say, so great having you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So with that said, let's switch gears a little bit from a team winning the Missouri, or going to win the Missouri Valley Championship maybe, to a team fighting for a championship, the BG football team. They have a player in Harold Fannin Jr. who has been jaw-dropping. As advertised, he's been so good. Harold Fannin Jr. has been a standout this year for BG, but his stats are even more wild than they really seem. Fannin just needs 183 receiving yards through his next 2 games to break the single-season record of 1,352 yards, which was set in 2013. That means the junior tight end would just need to average 91.5 yards per game to break this monumental record. So I'm going to toss it to you guys. How big has it been for BG football to have Harold Fannin Jr.?
I mean, it's been massive for this team. You've had all 32 NFL teams come and visit and scout Harold Fannin Jr. this season. And like you said, he only needs 91.5 yards average over the last 2 games to break the record. He's averaging 117 yards per game right now. So he is well on pace to break that record, and that would just be massive for the program.
Yeah, I mean, he's just an amazing player. I mean, definitely a go-to guy, one of the best receivers in the NCAA, but not even just tight ends, just receivers in general. And even Mel Kiper had him listed as a fullback and halfback on the draft boards this year. So there's really nothing that Harold Fannin can't do when he steps out onto the field game to game.
Do you think he'll break the all-time tight end receiving yards record?
I think he will. I think he has so much momentum right now with his past performances. Ball State and Miami of Ohio aren't the greatest defenses in the country, and I think that 117-yard average so far this season will continue on.
And genuinely, when was the last time BG had a signed, sealed, delivered NFL prospect talent playing on the field and committed to Bowling Green, committed to staying with this team? That's absolutely huge.
Yeah, I know. And the only question really right now is where's he going to get drafted? I mean, he can get drafted top 3 rounds, maybe number 1 tight end on the board, and as a halfback, fullback as well. So he could get drafted really high out of a mid-major school.
So with that said, let's go from another team. We just got championships galore. A lot of big news for both teams. So let's go to BGVB. We're wrapping up football with awards, so now let's go to volleyball, who have just qualified for the MAC tournament last week. Big game against NIU. It was a series. They ended up sweeping that. The Falcons are in the driver's seat to host the MAC tournament, with the Orange and Brown just needing to win one of their final 2 games of the regular season. They need a little help from Central Michigan if that happens, but still, it's a good time to be a BGVB fan. They've got the last game of the regular season coming up. They're 6-5 at home. That might be the only detractor, is that they haven't been the best at home. They have a loss to Central Michigan at home, and CMU is nipping at their heels. If the Falcons were to lose, CMU could capitalize, and then the MAC tournament would be in Mount Pleasant, which is home of CMU.
They could, but like you said, the Falcons are in the driver's seat. If they beat Ohio in both games, they're going to be that number 1 seed. They're going to get the first round bye, and they're going to get Stroh Center MAC tournament, which is huge. We all know the advantage that they have playing in their home court. They consistent and efficient against Ohio and into the MAC tournament as well. Only one of the last 16 games they've had a hitting percentage below 240, and that one was the Eastern Michigan loss. Only the 2 losses in MAC play against Central and Eastern. So they've been very consistent lately, looking for them to keep doing that through the rest of the this weekend and through the MAC tournament as well.
Ben, we're both the beats for BG volleyball. This has been such a fun team to watch.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The amount of star talent that this team has. You've got Alexis Mattil, who's one of the top players in the nation in hitting percentage. You've got Amanda Otten, who I know I've made myself a fan of. She's so good. Lauren Hovey has just been lethal down the stretch. What is going to be the key for the Falcons to, who's going to be that star player for the Falcons?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a star player. I think there are 5 hitters across the board: Lauren Hovey, Mia Tyler, Jessica Andrews, and Alexis Mattil, and Jordan Newblatt as well, coming out in that outside hitter position. I think they're all going to be big factors. There's so many pieces to get offensively present in a game. So just looking to the team as a whole, playing as a group instead of just one player.
100%. And I feel like if this team were to return and have that home MAC tournament, there's so much momentum building. I know, Tyler, we've talked off air about this. Would you rather have the hot team versus the good team? But BGVB have won 9 straight. This is a good team.
Yeah, and I think you want that momentum going into the postseason tournament. And if you can get that momentum, get the home court advantage, it's going to be a very tough team to stop with all of that momentum going. And we know how Daniela Tomic turns this team on once they hit conference tournament play and once it really matters.
I mean, they're both the hottest team in the MAC and the best team in the MAC. So.
And there really is no coach you'd rather have over Coach Tomic. But with that said, let's go from good coaching to more good coaching, as we have Athlete of the Week time. And there was a very big performance for men's soccer. They've had a lot of honors recently, and they just gave us an Athlete of the Week. So let's just go to it. Reko Bodurov is the Athlete of the Week this week, following a monumental performance in the first round of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Bodurov scored 2 goals in the Falcons' 4-1 win that pushed BGSU past the UIC Flames. Reko also tallied a career-high 3 shots and 1 assist through just 48 minutes of play, putting an exclamation point on the freshman's first season, and that's the crazy thing. He's just a freshman. So to read more about Bo Durov, you can check out the full Athlete of the Week piece in the BG newspaper on bgfalconmedia.com and in many locations on and off campus. So it's my favorite time. I always say this. So excited. It's Athlete of the Week time, and there's a lot of good choices, but I'm just going to rip into mine. Give me Trace Terry. There's going to be a list that you can see of why, but I just think he's going to score the game-winning goal, take the Falcons to the NCAA tournament. Give me Terry.
I think that's a pretty good pick. I think Trace Terry's been the leader for this team all year, but I'm going to have to go with Marcus Johnson. This men's basketball team can get rolling after that big win over Taylor. He leads this team in three-pointers and three-point percentage. Todd Simon, head coach, said he might be the best shooter in the country and called him a nuclear weapon post-game, so I think he's a good pick to keep going with his momentum early in the season.
And fellas, I think I'm going to head over to the ice. I think I'm going to take Ben Duran, sophomore setter for BGSU hockey. He played very well against St. Thomas, who's hockey's opponent this coming week. He played very well in the second series against them last year. He's played very well recently, even though he hasn't really been on the scorecard all that much. He's definitely passed the eye test for me. And I said that last time I was on when I chose Bryn Gardner. He's due, baby. I think he's due for a couple goals and finally fill the back of the net.
I mean, that's the thing. All of our picks are really kind of situational. I mean, I just think with the momentum that BG's men's soccer has had, Trace Terry, who was not in that game against Evansville the first time because he was he got suspended due to a couple things that a lot of BG fans aren't happy about. But I mean, Trace Terry, I just feel it. Same way with you thinking that Ben Duran's due.
Yeah, I think he hasn't scored a point in multiple games, despite playing very well. He's on a 3-game point drought, and he had 4 points in 4 games right before that. And we saw Brody Waters, who had a big weekend after he had a 4-game drought. Ben Duran's on a 3-game drought. I think he's going to be able to get a couple of points this weekend when they need it most. Hardest CCHA competition for BG hockey so far.
I mean, and I got to say, that quote that you got from Todd Simon, Tyler, is phenomenal. I mean, let's hear a little bit about Marcus Johnson, because a lot of people might have thought he might have been the Marcus Hill replacement.
Yeah, I mean, he's a mismatch for all defenses. 6'7", 265 pounds, can shoot it like Steph Curry at times. I mean, the guy hasn't missed much so far this season. 57.1% from three-point range so far through 3 games. And if Bowling Green's going to have a chance to beat Michigan State, it's going to be Marcus Johnson who's going to lead that charge. So if they could pull an upset or keep that one close, it's Marcus Johnson who's going to be the main guy for Bowling Green. So that's why I go with him.
That is some high praise, might I add. I mean, Steph Curry-like range is an insane comparison, but honestly, you kind of see it with how he performs. He doesn't even have to look at the rim at times with how this guy shoots, but I'm still going to go Trace Terry. I know this is more of like a discussion. I mean, let's make it an argument a little bit, because, I mean, these are good picks. But I don't know.
It's tough to argue. It's hard to argue with 5 game-winning goals. I mean, there's a distinct possibility that he does it again. And having missed the Evansville game before in the season, I could definitely see him being able to do that. Again, I'm playing the Duke card. Ben Duran, he's played very well. He does a lot. He plays off the puck very well. He plays with the puck very well. His line is very good offensive players that take some of the attention away. So it's tough for me to say that he's not going to be able to get at least an assist, at least 1 point in this series coming up, maybe even a couple, we're hoping. I don't know about your Marcus Johnson pick, man. I mean, Michigan State's got some big men out there. He's a big man himself, even though he's a little bit of a shooter. Some guys are bigger, faster. I don't know.
Well, I mean, so far the offense has run through Marcus Johnson so far this season. So it's hard not to go against him. And, you know, if you have any confidence in this Bowling Green team, if they could pull off the upset of the year for them, it's going to be run through Marcus Johnson, second on the team right now, 17.3 points per game. So we'll see what they can do up in East Lansing.
100%. But with that said, it looks like that's going to do us for this first block of the show. Coming up, we've got Lathan Chapman with your BG Sports updates of the week, only on the Swoop.
Reporting for the Swoop, I'm Lathan Chapman. Starting off with football, the BGSU Falcons soared past the Western Michigan Broncos in the Deutsch Tuesday. Bowling Green hit a 50-yard field goal to start the game off, but the Broncos answered back quickly with a 6-yard touchdown run. With just 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter, senior quarterback Connor Bazelak found junior tight end Harold Fannin Jr. in the middle of the field for a 25-yard touchdown to retake the lead 10-7. The Falcons kept up the momentum by picking off Western Michigan, so Connor Bazelak used his legs to run in a 1-yard touchdown. At the beginning of the half, the Orange and Brown received the ball and continued to dominate offensively. A 17-yard scoring scamper from junior running back Terrion Stewart would further the Bowling Green lead 24-7. Halfway through the third quarter, Harold Fannin Jr. scored his second touchdown of the day. Fannin Jr. caught 10 passes for 137 yards. The junior tight end continues his historic season leading the Mid-American Conference in receiving with over 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. Bowling Green prevailed to take first place in the MAC and is now bowl eligible. The Falcons will take a trip over to Indiana to face the Ball State Cardinals next Saturday, the 23rd. The volleyball team continues their success by qualifying for the MAC tournament. Bowling Green went on the road this past weekend and shut out the Northern Illinois Huskies not once but twice. With these 2 wins, the Orange and Brown qualify for the MAC tournament November 21st. The Falcons are hot and continue their winning streak of 9 games. BGSU will host the Ohio Bobcats this weekend for their final games of the season and look to stay hot going into the MAC tournament. Women's basketball is back and now underway. Your BGSU Falcons took a trip over to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland State Vikings. On Tuesday, the Falcons faced off against the Vikings and the offense came out hot. In the first half, the Orange and Brown were firing from deep, hitting 5 out of their 6 threes and leading by 10 points going into the half. In the second, BGSU went ice cold, shooting just 3 for 10 from beyond the arc and making just 5 shots the entire half. Bowling Green looks to get back on track against the St. Bonaventure Bonnies this coming Saturday. I'm Lathan Chapman reporting for the Swoop. Stick around for the wrap-up where you'll find information on upcoming sport events.
Welcome back to the wrap-up, where we update you on sports happening in the next week. Looking ahead this weekend, Friday and Saturday are looking packed for BGSU athletics. For both Friday and Saturday, BG hockey is facing off in Minnesota against the Tommies, with puck drop at 8 p.m. on Friday and puck drop at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Volleyball will be hosting OU this weekend and the Stro in their last series of the regular season, with both games at 7. Men's soccer will be facing off in the Valley Championship down in Missouri this Saturday, with games start at 7:30. Finally, on basketball, on Saturday, women's basketball will be hosting St. Bonaventure at noon in the Stro. Meanwhile, men's basketball will be facing off at Michigan State, with their game starting at 6 p.m. So now I want to toss it to you guys really quick. We've talked a lot about championships. I mean, that's a really big thing going on. We've got Missouri Valley Conference looming. We've got MAC tournament looming for BGVB. It's looking like a Miami football game might be what stands in the way of Bowling Green football. This is a two-parter. A, do you think this is one of the biggest seasons for Bowling Green athletics in recent years? And which team is most likely to bring that ship home?
Yeah, I think it is one of the best seasons for Bowling Green in recent years. I mean, the success that teams have had almost across the board, whether they win the championship or not, has been amazing to see. Every team is competing. I think our AD, Derek Vandermeer, said that. Every team is competing. I think volleyball has the best chance. I think they're far and away the best team in the MAC. They have to win more games than men's soccer, obviously. Men's soccer is only 1 win away, but I think volleyball is a better team in the MAC than men's soccer is in the MVC, and I trust Daniela Tomic with my life. So.
I would also definitely say this is one of the best times in bowling athletics. I'll take Todd Simon's quote from him. He calls this the golden age of BGSU athletics. And I'm going to go with men's soccer. I think they're the closest right now away from a championship. They just need one more win to do it. So I'm going to hedge my bet there a little bit and go men's soccer gets the win, takes home the championship.
I mean, I could see both of those. I'm going to go with BGVB, obviously, because I'm a little biased. But with that said, you guys have a phenomenal week. And don't forget to check out bgfalconmedia.com for more features, recaps, and more. Be sure to swoop in next time here on The Swoop.